I was busy doing something and I was looking for an effect, experimenting with it. And I know in the 3D modeling world that I work with, light, shadows, textures, they all play a role in creating the perception. But in the 2D world, so with my favorite program, Designer, I thought, how could I create this? And I was fiddling with it, thought what would be the best way. And this is what I came up with, and I'll show you what happened and how I got to it there. So it gives you an idea maybe if you want to, play around and experiment with it. So I'm going to go, this is what I started doing, and I noticed I changed these colors and it started looking like it had a bit of depth perception, like it's coming around here, going around this area. So literally I'm sitting with 2 units and they're sitting with different colors, and each of these units have a cap that is rounded. So what we did is on the stroke we chose a cap that's rounded. Then I started fiddling more, breaking it into more segments, and they have this very interesting look. Now it's starting to have a bit of depth. It looks like it's coming from the back, flipping up, coming towards me, down, and then up. And then I did a lot more splits on it, and here we're kind of getting this setup. So if you're going to fragment it more, be my guest and go ahead with it. If you want to try working with different colors also. The idea that I want to share is the cool concept that I think we're getting by adding the caps, the rounded caps. I don't think it will work with flat caps that nicely. So if I go to this group, let me show you. If I have to choose this segment here and I add a flat cap to it, it totally loses the effect. So, it can be used in certain situations. Here we got curves and this rounded caps just tend to work. So you might be thinking, how do I get to create this curve and place it perfectly along this arc, all of these pieces together? Because these ones here, this is like an independent piece. So do I design each of these independently? And the answer is no, I'm not that much of a genius to do that. So how do I get this fragmented in the first place? Let me show you where the first line starts off, maybe give you that idea. So I used a pencil tool, and a pencil tool's got a stabilizer, and you can experiment with that. But the stabilizer literally makes the fact that the pen goes ahead of the stroke and it smooths it out. So if I have to do something like this down here, that's what this pen tool does with the stabilizer on. So there's a few features you can sort of tweak around here, but that's the basic idea. So this is what I did with this stroke. It's a single stroke. Now just look at how interesting this becomes. This stroke is pretty much flat. It's 2-dimensional. It's sitting flat on the surface. Now how do I get to do those cuts like I'm showing you this here? I didn't take pieces and put them together. I took a single stroke and I started splitting them up. How do we do that? I use the node tool, which is A, and I use the move tool V. So I'm flipping between the two of those to kind of do what I want to. The actual stroke that I'm putting down, I'm using caps because it's got a rounded area. If I was using a different sort of a straight area, I could get away with a square area depending on what I'm busy designing. But for me, this is where the great visual sort of effect comes. Now I'm going to go to V, and this has got, naturally it's got nodes on, but I'm going to look and kind of see, okay, I'm going to take it where it is there, and maybe I'll drop another node here, which for those of you who don't know, you just click on the line. If you hover over it, you'll see the little tilde appear, and you click and it will drop a node there, and maybe I drop one here. Okay, I'm being a bit excessive, but I'm dropping a whole lot of nodes. The purpose of it is that I'm going to select the node and I'm going to go to the context bar on top here. Okay, so I'm in the node tool. I'm going to go to context bar and click on break curve. What's nice about this, when it breaks the curve, it doesn't take the handles away and then distort the object. It just splits it at that point. So if I click break curve, this one is broken here. I'm going to press V. If I click on here, what you've noticed, that piece has been broken away, yet it maintains its position there. So I'm going to press A again, and then we're going to go around doing this once more. I'm going to just click on all. Now I'm going to take a chance and just select 2 of them and click break. Let me just see if it did break. Yes. Okay. See there, I'm learning something now. So I'm going to just I'm going to select this, but now if I draw a box, I'm only going to select this area. A good way of doing selections around strange shapes is you keep the Alt down. So I'm still in the node tool. I want to split from here. All of these nodes I want to split. So I'm going to keep Alt down and then left mouse button. I start to drag and you'll start to drag a marquee. Okay, I won't do the last one. I just need these because I'm selecting those nodes and I'm going to go and say break the curve. So each one is going to break away. So technically if I come here, let's see, I'm going to go back to V. That seems, so each of these pieces have been broken off now. Okay, so hopefully you followed me on that one. I select the nodes on the inside, all of them, and to be able to get around the curves, keep Alt down with the node tool, and then it does a marquee selection. When you're done, you then can press the split area. Okay, let me just see where we are. We're back on the node tool. You're going to press the break curve. So it will break at each contact point into individual little segments. So here, look at this now. We still got this flat looking thing. So we got there. Now I'm going to just add a color for this stroke. Let's change the color. Look at that. I'm going to go Control Z. From that looking totally flat, I add a color and immediately it starts to create a depth from that side starting to curve towards us. That is quite cool. I'm not going to go like, alternating orange. I'll just choose nice interesting colors. Okay, can you see there? And you can get around. Okay, maybe we'll do that one with a bit of blue. This one, what color would we go here? Green. Can you see what's happening? I got actually quite excited. I was experimenting with it and it kind of is cool. Because now I'm getting a thing that's starting to curve here towards me. Here probably it will curve towards me and again away. So let's see what we get there. Nice grayish color. And oops, take that one. I'm going to run out of colors here. Although there's like millions of different hues and saturations. But for the mere mortal like myself, there's just limited amount of colors that I can fiddle with. So my eyes are not going to distinguish that much from one color from the other. Anyhow, there we can see we've gone from being just a flat area to now it's curving from the back, curving towards us, curving. It's almost like riding towards us. Now, how you select those things and how you do it, that's going to be your opportunity to experiment with it. But I just think it's really cool that it's gone to this point. Now, I've done another video where I show you how you can convert a curve, which is like a single line, into outlines and a full color. That's by going to layers and going to click, where do we have it here? Expand stroke. See, I even got a favorite key there. Then it will convert this not only from a single stroke, it will convert it into an outline and a full color. With that, you could probably add a lot of other features like gradients in that. Maybe we should experiment with that. I think I've passed 8 minutes, maybe the next minute and a half. Let me just try and do that. So I'm going to do it in bulk. So I'm going to grab this again. Let me probably grab it all in the layers palette. Have I grabbed everything? Yep. And then I'm going to go to layers and press expand stroke. For those of you who don't know, expand stroke, as I explained now, takes a stroke and expands it. It turns it into a stroke around and a full color. Okay. So if I click there, that's what we have. If I click, it still looks exactly the same, but when I select now, can you see it's got an outline? And in this case, I had the original as transparent. If I have to drop in a color there, and I make the stroke thicker, this is what's going to happen, because now I've converted that single stroke into an outline and a full color because I clicked the expand button. Okay, but I don't want a outline full color, so I'm going to keep it transparent. But that's how it's now put together. It's all these little pieces. What is cool about this is they are all segmented, but they're lying behind each other. So the one on top coming down here is creating that lie behind. That's what's creating the kind of 3D effect. So if I take this now and I add a gradient to it, this is what I was thinking in my head. Oh, nice. And then, okay, I come here and I add a gradient. This might be tedious. There might be a shortcut way of doing this, but this is the Oops, probably goes the other way around. So we can keep the true shadows and those kind of thing. Okay. I don't know if we're going to really get that kind of look because we're having different lighting setups. Maybe I can take this Control C, put it here. Let me try this. And I'm going to go edit, paste. Do I paste effect, paste? Let me try paste effect. No, edit, paste style. No. If I paste style, it's going to take the color and everything across here. Okay, but let me do my one here and just see if I can. I'm trying to convince myself that I can do this when I split it up. Maybe we can, yeah, we can possibly do that. Okay, but it kind of loses itself in this area because the eye is looking for certain shadows that fall that's equal on the side. No, I see where my mistake is. My shadows are the wrong way. The light should be there. I probably will get a better result if I create proper shadows. Okay, so in this case here, the shadow needs to follow what the shadow. There's light on top and dark at the bottom, so we'd probably be better off if we create that similar shadow on this object. Maybe a light on top and dark towards the bottom, so that the eye believes it a bit more coming around here. Okay, so I will leave that up to you, but it does look lots nicer if we spend a little bit more time on there, because if you look at this, oh, this is cool. And my daughter's favorite character, and she's literally over 25 now, is Woody from Toy Story. And this looks like Buzz's colors. So here we're having, yeah, it looks actually more cool that you add a bit of texture. This is my big problem. I don't like leaving things undone, but I can't do it over the whole tutorial. Let me just go there. Yeah. So okay, there, if we create that nice sort of glare, make sure that the light follows, that the light's coming from one side and it looks believable coming from one side, shadow to the other side. We can take this to being something nice like that. I think that is actually quite cool. So from a point like just a single line, by us splitting them all up, we're creating the perception already, and then we can create the textures along the way. In some cases you might be asking, can't we do it with one color? I'm sure we can do it with one color if you're doing multiple gradients, but then this technique is really not applicable because the perception of the depth is created by these various tones and colors in between. So all of you, hopefully this sort of gets your brain working in another direction. Some of my videos that I do is not meant to answer this is how you go from A to B, but it's there just to provoke you to think outside the box and think, maybe I should experiment with this and try things, because that's what I do quite often. I try and work out things so that I can get visual elements that is very exciting. So yeah, I've gone a little bit over the 10 minutes that I planned, but hopefully this gets you along the way and gets you excited about some other creative features. So have a fantastic day and God bless.